What's up, guys? Broken Prophet here, trying something new yet again. Yet again, because I wasn't happy with the video quality in the last couple of videos. I love the content, not happy with the video quality, so I'm trying something yet again. Whew, man, you guys really blew up the comment section on the last two videos. I love that. I love the engagement. Y'all, keep it up. Talk to me. I'll talk back. And I love answering questions. And one of the questions that I posed was, do you guys want me to do Is Hoodoo a Closed Tradition Part 2? Or is Hoodoo a religion? And I got a lot of, back and forth, which was great. And then I thought about it. I might be able to knock out two birds with one stone. Let me know in the comment section if I succeeded in that. Because before we can dive into the how to do hoodoo, we've got to understand the whys. And I think if a lot of people got more factual information about hoodoo and not just the stuff that the marketeers put out, because let's be honest, they want to sell you more hoodoo, then a lot of people would decide maybe this isn't for me, maybe it is for me, and be able to make an informed decision. But first and foremost, I'm trying to make the video shorter simply because Mama Hoodoo is visiting. That's right, my mom is visiting. And so I want to spend time with my mama. And two, y'all have short attention spans. But first things first, y'all, one of my snakes is probably not long for this world. I'm very sad about that. And I want to replace her, but I don't have the money. So somebody donate $150 to me so I can replace this snake. Hey, but look here. A closed mouth does not get fed. That's what I was telling a friend of mine. And this is the lesson that I want to give you guys before we get into the video. Real short. Stop leaving things up to interpretation or hoping that people get your hint. Be direct with folks in your life. Not just with hoodoo, but just in your life in general. I told someone very near and dear to me that because they were looking for someone to do something for them. And I said, you have got to stop leaving people escape hatches. You cannot use phrasing such as, if you feel like it, if you get around to it, if it's not too much trouble, because people are always going to do what is most convenient for them. Let's be honest. You know that's how people are. So be direct. So let's say if someone wants in that $150, run it. The donation thing will be up there somewhere. But anyway, let's get into the meat of this video. One comment that I saw repeatedly in the comment section of the first installment of Is Hoodoo a Closed Tradition was from people who admitted that they were white and that their family was, well, one white person, one non-white, that their family did hoodoo. And then what they were describing was not hoodoo. It was similar, but it was not. And so I want to start off by saying, guys, root work does not equal hoodoo. It doesn't. When you look at the term or the word root work, it is made up of two words, root and work. It is literally working with roots. Every group of people on this planet works with roots either for food, medicine, or spirituality, all of the above, right? So if your particular group of people works with roots, it does not mean that they're doing hoodoo. If you are in Mexico and there's an old lady who does spiritual healing with roots, she's not doing hoodoo. She is doing curandismo. Excuse me. If you are white and you got your granny up in the mountains and she is using roots and plants to do spiritual healing or spiritual work, she is not doing hoodoo. She is doing what some people call Appalachian or granny magic. See, there's bound to be some overlap, but it does not mean that one group borrowed from the other. It just means that different groups kind of had the same idea. It's just like when people want to compare the mojo bag to the Native American medicine bag. And then they want to say, well, the ancient Africans, not Lord ancient, my big mama will pop me in the back of my head when I'm asleep if she hear me say ancient. But the African ancestors, they didn't have to borrow that idea from Native Americans. Ever since a group of people decided that they wanted to travel from home, somebody got the idea to make a sack and put a little bit of home in it. We have always, as a human race, been putting little bits of things in bags in order to preserve, to carry, transport, whatever. So the mojo bag does not equal the medicine bag. Working with roots does not equal hoodoo. Hoodoo is an African American tradition born in the U.S. South. Okay? If you're not of that, then you're not doing hoodoo. It's either granny or folk magic, curandismo, or a host of other traditions that work with roots, but it's not doing hoodoo. I think a lot of people that are not black may have grown up around hoodoo like things, and then once they fall down the Google rabbit hole, they end up in hoodoo, when in reality, their ancestors were more likely doing curandismo, granny magic, a host of other things, but not hoodoo. What a lot of people fail to realize is that hoodoo was a closed tradition for the longest, even to us. There were root workers in the community, but you had to know somebody who knew somebody because they didn't want all that hassle. They simply didn't. Um, they certainly weren't out writing books and all this other stuff. And to be quite honest, we weren't the ones who opened the tradition. What happened was, and this is how I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, it all boiled down to money. See, I don't think that all these non-African Americans would have flocked to hoodoo if it wasn't presented as an open forum to just the masses. Some of the major merchants in hoodoo started around the time of that movie, The Craft. Don't act like y'all ain't never watched it back when y'all were younger and y'all like trying to pray to mental, because a lot of people come to spiritual traditions because they're trying to fill a void and they want to feel powerful. They want to feel noticed and acknowledged, and hey, that's okay. But during that movie, The Craft came out, and it was a time where I won't say everyone, but a lot of people were just upset with organized religion. They were upset with, the church, and because they were upset with the people in the church, it became them being upset with Christianity, and then they were like, here's something else, right? And the people who were outside of the tradition but had gained some insight decided that this was a great time to kind of change their marketing. Because why sell a $2 candle to, let's just face it, some not as affluent black folks when you can sell a $10 candle to, also for lack of a better term, some white folks with some expendable, extra spending money and wanted a hobby. If that doesn't apply to you, then don't get butthurt. They wanted a hobby. And so as they started digging deeper into, websites that were beginning at the time, catalogs which were more prevalent, they were like, oh no, they doing too much with the Bible and I'm trying to get away from the Bible. What did the marketeers do? They said, hark, let's just change a couple of words around. Instead of the hoodoo religion, let's make it it's just a magical system based off of African American practices. See, that way they got to balance out, like add two things. Mysticism, because, people think that foreign equals exotic. And to a lot of people that were white back then, and even now, black traditions and customs are exotic. So they added that mystique of something that was foreign and exotic with a system, because no one liked religion anymore, but a system. See, a system is something that I could use, and if I don't like something, I could just pick and choose just what I like of the system, right? A magical system, I can pick and choose what I like. That made it more palatable, and in making it more palatable, it made it more marketable, and in making it more marketable, it expanded its reach. So now you're not just selling it to like the poorer black communities where people are sincerely trying to get their loved ones out of jail, or they're trying to get this job. No, it's people who now just want a little something unique, a little something spicy, a little something that if they showed folks, it'll kind of make them not as bland as their personality may have dictated. So they added that. What else could they do? Well, since it's now a system, you can add whatever you want to it. So now you've got pentagrams in hoodoo. You've got all kinds of manner things that have nothing to do with Southern black folks. One of the major things they did was not try, but they did. How many of y'all have heard or seen people saying you don't need the Bible to do hoodoo? You don't need the Bible to do hoodoo. They took the Bible out, they took a lot of this stuff out, and now people are swallowing it up. They even started marketing to a segment of black folks as black people started awakening to our African spiritualities, voodoo, Palo Mayombe, the different Orisha practices. They started realizing, well, these practices require initiation, and initiation has costs associated with it. I think a crowning will run you like $10,000, scratching and Palo like $3,500. I don't know how much it is to get initiated in Haitian voodoo, but somewhere around the 5,000 or more mark, right? So people are like, dang, that sucks. And what the marketeers say, hark, here, there's no initiation in hoodoo. Never mind the fact that we have been initiated within our own families all the time. Maybe not a spiritual initiation, but being in the kitchen, learning how to do certain things, not being able to go outside and play until you get certain things right. Tell me that ain't initiation or at least hazing. But take all that out. Now it's just a free-for-all. And since you don't have to do much to get in, people don't value it as much because now hoodoo has become something that people just do to seem kind of cool in online forums where there's just other people just as blind as they are. When we look at the history of the traditional African religions, or ATRs, African traditional religions, and as we relate it to the slave trade, we have to understand that the majority of the ancestors came from the west coast of Africa. And in that area, you had the Yoruba, you had those in Benin, Togo area, you had those from the Congo. From the Congo came what we now know as Palo Mayombe. From Benin, Togo, now we know we've got Haitian voodoo. And from Yoruba land, we've got the different Orisha practices, right? Now, y'all can look up the history, but a large part of those who practiced the Orisha practices from Yoruba landed in Cuba. Cuba was under Spanish rule and it was Catholic. Those ancestors were able to hide their practices behind the pictures of the Catholic saints. Y'all know the story. The same thing happened with those from Benin, Togo who brought Vodun to Haiti and it became Haitian voodoo, right? We all know that. Same thing happened with Palo. Palo went to Cuba as well. In the American South practiced Protestant Christianity. So understand the difference. Basically, to really narrow it down, in Catholicism, there's us, there's God up there. We have to go through the priest, and the priest communicates. We can also petition saints, but there's no straight to God, right? In the Protestant form of Christianity, it's just, there's no saints. It's just you, sweet Jesus, God the Father, and the Holy Ghost. That's it. And a whole lot of Bible. Protestant Christianity is what was practiced in the American South. So the ancestors got here, had no saints. They was passing along oral traditions, tucking little bits of work into bits of scripture that they memorize, and working with the roots and herbs around them. But here is where I disagree with the marketeers. If Haitian voodoo is a religion, if any of the Orisha practices, Santeria, Yoruba, Candomblé, if that is a religion, Palo Mayombe is a religion, why is hoodoo not a religion? Why? Let's just look at Christianity. The Catholics use the Bible, pray to God, it's a religion. When you look at Protestant Christianity, right? Pray to God, use the Bible, it is a religion. if you break Protestantism down into different well, I won't say subsects, but into different components, because under Protestant Christianity, you've got the Baptists, who believe obviously in baptizing. You've got the Methodists, the Adventists. They all do their forms of worship a little bit differently, but still Bible and God. If you look at Hoodoo, does things a little bit differently, but still Bible and God. Why is Hoodoo not a religion? All these other things are, but Hoodoo isn't. Why? Because you can't sell religion, but you can sell a spiritual tradition, a spiritual system of magic. You can sell that, and that's what they did. I think one of the major issues we're having in the world today is that no one likes to be told no. The more you tell someone no, the more they're actually going to want to do it. That's why we see things like, ladies trying to join traditional fraternities, men trying to join traditional sororities. And it's probably not even because they want to be there, but because how dare you keep me out of something. That's why my Is Hoodoo a Closed Tradition video got more dislikes excuse me, than my last 20 videos put together. Because no one likes to be told no. And I didn't even tell anyone no. I just told you probably not. You're probably not going to be able to do it. Now, I do know this. A lot of people practice spirituality and they're not even getting results as far as quantifiable results from their spell work. What they are getting is peace of mind from lighting candles, from going through the ritual of incense. It's a form of meditation for them. And I mean, if that's helping you, by all means, don't not do something that is providing some benefit from you. But have y'all ever wondered why spirituality, not just hoodoo, but all forms of spirituality now, is the one thing that people only feel they get benefit from by becoming part of that? I mean, think about it. No one goes to the doctor and the doctor, heals them, gives them medicine that helps. And then they leave going, man, I need to go to med school. No one does that with the dentist. Dentist fixes your tooth, you're not hurting no more, and they're like, man, I need to become a dentist now. No one tries to pass the bar because their lawyer got them off. None of that. But for some reason, when it comes to hoodoo, people can't just go to someone, get a reading, or get some work done. No, I've got to be a part of it. I've got to be a worker myself. So I think a lot of people need to ask themselves, like, why am I really in this? If this is not a part of my culture, because I'll be honest, guys, spirits don't reach out to people. And I'm talking to everyone as a whole, not just non-African Americans. I'm talking to everybody. Spirits don't just call out to folks like that. A lot of times people think that spirits are reaching out to them because they want to be reached out to by somebody. It's feeling a need. I think if we as a people, a whole human race, if we started to work on more of our mental and emotional health before we started engaging the spiritual side of things, or if we worked on it all together, we'll see that we're just doing too much. We're just doing too much. Man, I'm rambling all over the place on this video. I'm going to try to splice it all together so it kind of makes sense. Guys, keep on commenting. Yeah, that really helps. Talk to me. I talk back. Keep commenting. Keep asking your questions. Maybe I'll do a live stream so where we can, all talk together as a community. Guys, I'm going to do my best to make this video kind of make sense. Let me do some splicing and editing and whatnot. But again, thank y'all so much. And thank y'all, whoever's going to do it. Run that donation for a replacement snake. But hit me up in the comment section. Let's do a part 3 of this where it kind of makes more sense, so I can kind of have a cohesive flow to this thing. And we will go from there. But thank y'all so much for tuning in to this rambling. And till next time, Prophet out.